Hello, friends, and welcome back to the series of our simple paintings that we are doing just to help us deal with decreasing any stress and just allowing any anxiousness that we may be feeling to be melted into this painting that we're going to do. So today's painting is going to be called Gentle Rolling Hills and Mist. And of course, I'm going to use my brand colors for this series as I've mentioned before. However, a lot of times I decide to do something on the spur of the moment, so I may choose to use other colors, but right now that's where my mind is focused. So I'm going to start off with my tea rose, the folk art vintage tea rose color that we've been using. And then take a little bit of water from my spray bottle. Today I'm using an actual stretch canvas, so it's the one that has the staples in the back, but like I stated before, it doesn't matter whatever you choose to use. It's left up to what you want to use. So I'm just damping it with my paper towel just a little bit, or dabbing it with my paper towel just a little bit. I'm going to take my paint and go ahead and just start taking the pink and blending it. So I'm a little bit warm, so I'm going to go real quick, cut this ceiling fan on. Be right back. Actually, I cut the light on as well. Okay, so now, this feels better. Just never know what the weather is going to bring, especially since we are in the springtime, not actually in summer yet, but today it was actually pretty cool outside, so it just might be hot for some reason now, but it was a pretty nice temperature when I went outside earlier. So I'm just gonna kind of take the color of that tea rose that we're using. I'm gonna use this again as our sky. And instead of us using the white, which I still probably will use the white, but I'm envisioning seeing some hills in here. Not sure how well I'll be able to draw them, but that's kind of what I'm envisioning. And so I'm thinking about having this as maybe a lighter version of some of the green that we've been using. So again, just bear with me, just trying to see what I'm gonna do. So I'm gonna probably stop right here. So notice it's not going all the way half like we've been doing with the horizon. Just stopping right in here. Okay, so now I'm kind of thinking about what color I might want to see if I can blend. So, you know, yesterday I had this pretty Laguna that I used. This one, the apple barrel color. But I'm really wanting to kind of use some of my greens in here. So I might look at mixing a little bit of white with this pistachio mint that we've been using. So let's just play with that a little bit just to see. going to take a little bit of white and green and kind of blend it in a little bit where I'm seeing hopefully a little bit more white. So I'm going to put a little bit more white on the tip. Remember, we always say we don't mind seeing the pink mixed in a little bit, just making my skyline a little shorter than I anticipated because I'm wanting this to be part of the sky. Okay, I'm liking the way that's looking. So I wonder what you're thinking as you're taking your paintbrush and letting it glide along the canvas. As I told you before, the strokes for me a lot of times make me just feel more relaxed. As the brush hits the canvas, I just kind of feel like sometimes those strokes are allowing me just to release some tension, even if it's physical, maybe in my arms or in my back, because like the older I've gotten, the more stiff I tend to get. So it just kind of helps me to feel like I'm free when I'm able to kind of move this paintbrush back and forth. So we want to think about that piece, you know, it's different for each person, but for me, I know we're never going to be 100% at peace until we're beyond this world, but I do feel like peace is very important to learn how to experience. And so we know that it's not always clear to us how peaceful things should look, but if you kind of think about that, when I think about peace, and I'm not sure if this is something that you can relate to, but I think about clarity, wanting to just have some more clarity, that it's not cloudy or misty outside, you know, outside. If this was what I was thinking about, like for weather, like if I saw a beautiful, clear, crisp day, that shows me some peace. But sometimes, even with clouds in the sky, depending on how the sky looks, it shows me peace. Now, of course, if the sky has a lot of storm clouds, I'm not necessarily thinking that that makes me feel peaceful. But sometimes with even just a little bit of a light rain, when you can just kind of curl up with a book or take a nap, all of that for me just feels peaceful. So we have gotten our skyline in, and now I'm thinking about these hills I'm kind of wanting to be on my painting. So I'm thinking what I might do is actually take the paintbrush and dab it a little bit on to dry it off just a teeny bit. And I'm not sure how this is going to work because it might blend in too much, but we'll see. But I want to kind of just make a cascading kind of hill. Maybe just the outline of one. And then maybe a hill this way. And then one kind of coming in this way. And one coming in that way. The other one coming in this way. Small one here. Because I want to put some more flowers in it. I was really happy with my flowers in the painting that we did with the ocean. So I'm kind of want to see a little bit that as well. So I think what I'm going to do now is take an actual darker green, and I think I'm going to go back now to my sage. I actually went to Hobby Lobby today, like I stated I was going to do, and I couldn't find the actual one that just says sage. It was the sage, Italian sage that I already have. So I'm still going to try to use this bit up, And when I'm out and about, soon I'm going to maybe go back and see if I can find this sage, because I really do like this sage. I'm going to take the sage and kind of outline as you saw me do with the pistachio, but I'm now just taking the sage and kind of outlining it, because I don't want to lose this part of the heels. I want them to look soft and rolling. So now I'm going to take some white and some mint and some sage and kind of mix it all together and see what we come up with. Just mix it up really good. See what we come up with. Okay. So that's just those three colors mixed together. And we still see what I'm trying to keep here are those outlines of what we made. So I want to go back to reiterate that if you are painting this with me, remember you're welcome to use any color that resonates with you. And of course, if you want it to look more traditional, might have these rolling hills with a pretty green that looks like grass, or maybe some brown mixed in. And what I'm doing here, I'm kind of leaving a little bit of white here so I can go back in with the sage and do my my heel so I don't lose that. But I'm trying to get that kind of that little outline that's going to help us to see each heel. So I'm back now using the actual sage. It is being mixed in, but I'm using that on the outer part here. And then what I'm probably going to do right here is go back in and do some of my sky just in that area. So now I'm going to take the sage again and making that heel. And as we're doing this, I'm still trying to see if there's something else that I want to maybe add in so that you can tell that these are different heels. Okay, so let's kind of see what that looks like as it dries. Now I'm going to go back as we're waiting on it to dry a little bit and take that combination of the green, the white, and then that mint green. See what we can do. Get some more of that sagey color. being from Louisiana, we don't get a chance to see beautiful mountainsides or anything because, we're pretty flat here. But I have had the opportunity to visit Oregon, Arkansas, which has like really, especially in Hot Springs, has these beautiful mountains that are covered with green trees. So one day I hope to be able to visit some other places that have beautiful mountains, and it always looks so peaceful. I mean, of course, I've seen a lot of them on TV, but I'm sure that TV doesn't do them justice. So now I'm just taking those 3 colors, filling it in. It's mighty funny how you run out of paint when you just do these little drops. Like I said, I feel like a lot of times I'm wasting so much because I may put a pretty big drop in and then don't actually get a chance to use it. So I'm kind of being a little bit more cautious, especially since I'm mixing them. So how's yours coming? What do you think? I'm sure it's beautiful just like you are inside and out. Remember, you're taking time away from your busy schedule, wherever you can find that time. And if you're not able to do it on a daily basis, maybe being able to just set aside some time for you to be able to do it when you have some time. If you are still a mother who has smaller children, maybe setting some time aside on an off day or when they go to bed. A lot of times I just like silence. I work from home even though I still travel sometimes, depending on if I have to go do a training of some kind, or most of the time I'm doing trainings over online, so I'm still I am home, but I like the peace of just sometimes not hearing anything. I'm not a big talker anyway, but more of an introvert, but I can be extroverted depending on the situation. But I think that's why I like crafting so much, because you can do it quietly by yourself as you're thinking about what you want to do next, or you can also do this with a friend or friends if it's something that y'all all like, to take some time to do this together. Whatever works. Okay, so I'm pretty pleased with my rolling hills. I at first just thought I was just gonna take one kind of green and do the inside of it, but the 3 colors together, I'm really happy about that. Now I'm just gonna take a little bit of white and see if I can just lightly, while it's wet, just kind of go in and make some little streaks. Kind of blend it in. Remember, it's not about being perfect. And perfection is about progress. And that's in our journey of life, as well as wherever you are on your journey in painting or crafting or even motherhood or being a wife, because we have so many roles we feel and we're never going to be at the same or get to the same point in each role. We may do better sometimes at our role at work and maybe thriving pretty well and thinking that I'm not doing so well at home, because those are different roles. And it's not that you're not trying, it's just that I definitely understand how the time barrier can get away from us when you have so much that you have on your plate. Oh yeah, so that came out pretty neat. So now I'm thinking about the kind of flowers I want to put on here. So I'm going to take my brush and clean it off a little bit so I can put a little bit more of that sky in there. And this is a different brush, so it might give me a little bit more of a drier feel to it, just to cover that part up. And I'm going to take a little bit more of the pink. I just saw my, I know I've shown this one before, but I just thought about, I wonder what this copper rose. Let's see if oh, sorry, I put it too close to the camera. I'm almost mixing it a little bit with the pink and maybe just a bit of white. What would that do to my sky? I hope it doesn't mess it up, because I kind of want to give my sky a little bit of golden color. Let's see. Let's see what that looks like when it comes out. Just never know till you try. Okay, I can definitely tell that I've mixed in some white. The copper rose is a metallic, so it is mixed pretty well with the white. I think if I put a little bit more white in, let's see what happens. Kind of makes me feel about those, as I talked about before, those wispy kind of clouds. I was trying to see how much of it would change up what I was doing. Hold on, let's see. I see a little bit more when I do add a little water to it. I saw a little bit of that rosy copper come out. So what I'm thinking about, I'm just not sure how it's going to come out, but what I was thinking about was maybe by itself just take a little bit of the copper and see if I can make the copper rose and see what it might do to if it's kind of like some clouds, maybe some copper looking clouds. Let's just see. And a smaller paintbrush. And I'm just going to take it and kind of wisp it on there. Oh yeah, kind of like they're clouds. What do you think? Didn't look too bad, so now I'm going to put a little bit more, which is more than I wanted to put on there, but it kind of gives it this nice little texture of wispy kind of clouds. I notice the more I do it like that, the more it tends to blend in with the sky, with that tinge of gold. I'm gonna hold it up just to look at it. We'll just leave it like that and see. So what I'm going to do is let this dry for a bit, and then we're going to come back and see where we want to put our flowers. Okay, we're back, friends, and I am really liking this. I'm almost at the point where I'm like, do I really want to put flowers on here or not? So how is yours coming along? So I do really like the way it came about. Now I remember in one of my earlier videos where we talked about the waves, I was looking to figure out how could I make waves. This almost looks like waves, so maybe next time I draw a body of water, then I'll be able to do it in some kind of way that might resemble this, that does resemble waves in a bit. Okay, so as I told you before, I'm not one that likes to just take paintbrush and just start trying to draw, but I'm going to try it this time. And I think the first thing I'm going to try is maybe using some green. It's that beautiful grass green from Craft Smart. Hopefully you can see that. And I'm going to try to make me some stems and leaves first. So let's see how that goes. So I'm going to try something a little different. See, kind of making some wispy looking leaves. Have no idea that these would be kind of the flowers that would grow on these rolling mountains. But remember, we are making things the way our imaginations are steering us. So it doesn't always have to be what you would actually see. You can always make it be what you want it to be. So let's just check it out. So what are your leaves looking like? Are you making them traditional, where you're actually making the little leaf itself? Or did you decide to do something a little different? Okay, so this is one flower, or excuse me, one stem that I'm hoping to be able to draw me some flowers from. Then I'm going to come over here to the other side. do something a little similar on this side. So maybe I can have the actual stem coming more off from the side. One thing I do want to learn how to do, and I think I might have mentioned that, is to learn how to draw flowers. So I've been trying to practice myself, and then I'm just trying to get inspiration from different places. You know, they say beauty is in the eye of the beholder, and I think art and creativity is definitely in the eye of the beholder. There have been some paintings, I mean, it's not like I go to art shows or anything, but you know, on TV, on movies where they might show like a painting and you're kind of like, what is that? And you know, it's supposed to be some sort of abstract piece, and that might cost, and I don't ever want to seem like I'm making fun of anyone's art, because I do feel like that anything you create and however you feel that it's worth to you, and even with money involved, it may be priceless. So I'm never going to make fun of someone else's art or saying, oh, I wouldn't buy that. Because again, I'm going to say it's in the eye of the beholder. So, but I have seen art that, you know, if you kind of think about, oh, it needs to be perfect, and you know, that whoever did that, you know, they must really be a talented artist when they're so beautiful. But again, it could be very abstract. It's kind of like, you know, when your child makes you a beautiful picture, either at school or at home, and they want you, or even because I can relate to that. My daughter, she never liked buying cards for me. She always liked making them. So I still have them. And it would be just her drawing something and then telling me how much she loved me and all that. And that was more priceless than anything. And so I've had students that would give me, I think I'm going to do one this way too, that would give me, you know, all of these little messages. Sometimes I would get them from parents or teachers, and I kept that. All of that's worth it. So it's just kind of like your child that might bring you breakfast in bed, and it might not be the breakfast that you were expecting, but because your child created it and made it for you, then you're going to be very happy that they have taken the time to do that. So it's the same thing with our pictures, that whenever they give us something, we are always going to show how much we love it, and we're going to cherish it. So it's kind of the same way with what you're creating for yourself. You have to believe in yourself that this is your creation and you are happy with it. I decided to just make that stem come all the way down. I'm almost thinking about putting one here off to the side. What do y'all think? I think I'm gonna do one off to the side too. I'm getting, these leaves are making me very happy. Can't get enough of them. You notice I use different types of ways that I even drew them on here. Okay, so now let's see about our flowers. So, you know, of course, I'm gonna start off with my colors, and I will say, because I still have quite a bit of that mixture that I did with the rose, tea rose, and the metallic copper rose, I'm gonna use some of that to see how it makes, to see if it'll make a nice flower. And y'all, I'm almost thinking about making a blue flower from the Laguna too, because I just love that color. I think that's gonna really pop out. So I think what I'm going to do is we're going to maybe use the Laguna, what I already have mixed with the rose. May use that light yellow, because we have, let's see, 4. Let's see how those colors come out first. So I'm just getting into the habit of making the flowers like I did on our picture from yesterday, where we made the, I'm just gonna quickly show it under the thing. Boom, we made this. And so I'm just getting where I'm getting happy with those. So you might see quite a bit of those types of flowers until I start learning how to make some other ones. It's quite okay, because I am going to give myself the time I need to learn. I'm one person that I love to learn new things and new techniques in a lot of different areas in my life. So remember that I told you that I like to have the brush that has a little angle to it. So I'm going to try and see, because this is really different for me, because on the other painting I actually had drawn it out. So this time I'm just drawing it out with the actual paintbrush. So think about it. Are you ready to do that? Did you do it, or did you draw it out? Doesn't matter. Did you even decide not to put the flowers? That's totally left up to you. You might just want to have your mountains just with the mountain itself and the skyline. Okay, so that's one flower. Then I'm going to come over here. I think I want to put one right here, kind of a smaller one. And remember, I'm going to let it dry some and then come back and put some more there. So let's see. I think I want to put a yellow one. I have another little angle brush. It's kind of bigger than the one that I just used, but let's see what I can do with it. I'm gonna put the yellow one right here. I think my green might still be a little bit wet, so I'm not gonna mix that in yet. I'm just gonna kind of give it to fill it in. I'm big into growth when it comes to us growing as people, when it comes to children growing in school, when it comes to teachers growing in order to help their kids, when it comes to parents growing. So I just think anything that shows that, whether it's flowers or some sort of plants or just something that symbolizes it. And so that's one reason why I like to do quite a bit of this. So yeah, this one, the green was still a little wet, but that's okay. As I stated before, we can mix it, but I'm letting this flower kind of be off a little bit, and I kind of do like the way the yellow mixed with that. Okay, so let me clean off my brush and get a little bit of this blue Laguna in there. And since we still have 2 other places to put a flower, I wonder what other color we can choose. I have all kind of colors here. I've branched out, y'all. I decided to do something a little bit more than actually using all of my brand colors. So there's that pretty blue. So I'm gonna do one there. I kind of think I want to do one here. Okay, so here's my blue. Okay, now we want to think about the very last color. So I have, let me show you. I was just trying to see here. I have this really pretty purple iris that is an apple barrel. Then I have this pretty fire coral. And I'm just trying to see. How about I do one purple and one coral? That works. Then we can have both colors on there. So that's the coral. And it's called Fire Coral. And it's by Folk Art. Kind of almost reminds me of, like, with the way you look at it, sometimes it looks like it's so a really like bright kind of red, because I've used it before. But then once it dries, you can tell that it's coral. It's probably why they have the word fire in it, maybe. Even though I like these paintbrushes too to make these flowers, I'm going to start seeing too if I can find maybe smaller paintbrushes that have the kind of, and I know I've seen them, but have the little angle, because it helps me to draw better. So now I'm going to take a little bit of the purple iris. And we're going to do that off the side here. So this little fella, he's kind of off the page. So I'm gonna let that dry. Take my heating tool. And then I'm going to take a little bit more of each color and just fill in the flowers. Just to make them a little more vibrant. And come back to that. Or the blue. And you might decide you might want to put petals in yours, or put the little, I guess what are those little things in the middle of a flower called the seeds. But I'm going to leave mine like this. Eventually I'm going to branch out and do a little bit more of that. And I actually have other brushes. There's that green, but that's fine because it kind of blends in. But I have other brushes, but for some reason I wanted to try this one because it kind of lets me do that wispy look. Okay, and then come over here and finish the one that's kind of off page. And then the last one is going to be the pink, which is the pink that I had mixed with that copper rose gold. This had just a teeny bit of the coral in it. That one kind of came out more in a circle, so just bear with me. I'll put my little petals here. Here we go. Just have a little bit of green that mixed in as well. I'm just dotting it. So while that's doing that, I'm thinking about, just like I put a little bit of the rose, that copper rose in there, and I still have some of that on my palette, and take this little bitty brush and just kind of do some wispies in here. Okay, well, I kind of like the way that came out on my pink flower. So I think I want to put a little bit more to fill in this blue and this purple, and think we're going to call it a day. Or maybe call it a video, how I was saying it, let's call it a video that we're finished. So let me pull out the one I was using for the purple and the blue, because I actually was using the same paintbrush and just wiping it off. I still have just a teeny bit of blue, but I don't think it's going to be enough. Just get a little bit off of the bottle. Okay, I'm wiping it off. And let's finish up with the purple. Not a whole lot of purple left either. I might be able to get a little bit off the top. Okay, friends. Well, that is going to be it for today. So I just want you to, now I'm sitting here, I was contemplating, and I may go back and do it later, but I was even thinking about putting a half of a sun here. So as if it's either setting or it's rising. But I'm not going to do it now. I like the way this looks. So I hopefully you enjoyed spending time with me. Again, if you love what we're doing here, let's do it together. Please like and subscribe to my channel so we can do more paintings together that will allow us to be able to give ourselves some self-care by doing some painting and crafting. So until the next time, I will see you in the next video. Bye for now.